Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Impact Wrestling Press Pass podcast ahead of Slammiversary. I'm your host, Tom Hannafin. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are expecting media members from all over the world today, and also a big thank you to all of our fans tuning in on Impact Wrestling's Facebook page to listen in to what we've got in store. We are all so excited for Slammiversary. Tickets are on sale at impactwrestling.com for this Saturday, July 15th in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We'll be live on pay-per-view, Fight TV, and DAZN internationally for the first time ever for our 21-year anniversary special extravaganza Slammiversary. So we are so fortunate to have some great guests with us today. Just a reminder to the media in attendance, please limit one question per person. And also, please keep your questions specifically to Impact Wrestling and, of course, what we have going on this weekend at Slammiversary. A note regarding Scott D'Amore. He will be joining us in roughly 30 minutes. We do expect him to be on here as a part of Press Pass. As you can all imagine, what went down yesterday on Busted Open Radio, the news regarding Bully Ray and Diener, he has had his hands full. So we are expecting Scott D'Amore to be here, and he will have comments on what occurred yesterday on Busted Open. But without further ado, I do want to welcome two ladies who will be headlining Slammiversary in a first-time ever matchup. Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts World Championship against Trinity. Deonna and Trinity, thank you both so much for joining us. I want to kick off the questions here with something that occurred the first time you two stepped foot in a ring together, and that you guys were showing a lot of respect for each other, but there were some barbs that were thrown. Deonna, I want to start with you. You said to Trinity, you can't walk out on a situation with me. And Trinity said, well, I hope you don't get fired before I get to go one-on-one with you for the title. So, Deonna, I want to start with you. What provoked that?
You know what? I'm very protective of my Knockouts division and specifically my Knockouts World Championship. So Trinity called me out, talked about my championship, and I just needed to let her know this is my division, this is my place. Welcome, I'm happy to have you, but I'm a totally different animal than anyone you've ever been in the ring with before.
Trinity, obviously you responded in the moment in Chicago, but things have gotten a little uneasy between you and Deonna. How do you feel at this point in time, just a handful of days out from Slammiversary?
I mean, I give the same energy that I'm given. So I fight fire with fire, and she's definitely been bringing me fire, and that's all going to come together Saturday at Slammiversary, and I'm looking forward to it because one thing I'm not is scared.
Absolutely agree with that. I do want to thank everybody again that's joining us all over the world. To the media members and attendants, please digitally raise your hand, and our members of our PR team will get to you and make sure that your question and your opportunity comes up. So first up is Jim from the Miami Herald. Jim, can you hear us?
All right, I think I got out of there. I got it unmuted. Ready to go.
You got a marching band there, Jim? You're doing great.
Happy Slammiversary, everybody. 22 years and counting for Impact Wrestling. Hey, I'm just curious, what has this all meant to you, Slammiversary, and especially the Knockouts division, and what it's meant to the growth of women's wrestling? And thank you both.
And Jim, who's your question for?
For either one or both.
Deonna, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Slammiversary is where I won my first Knockouts World Championship against Jordan Grace in 2020. So I feel like this pay-per-view kind of marks the start of the Virtuosa and my reintroduction to the world of who I am and what I'm capable of. So I look forward to this pay-per-view every year. In terms of, who I get to wrestle. I've had a variety of opponents and different styles of matches, but also the energy around it. Like you said, this has been around for 20 plus years. This is one of Impact's marquee pay-per-views, and we always do it big for Slammiversary. So this year will be no different.
Trinity?
It's very, very exciting and a completely new and different experience for me. Never have experienced in Slammiversary. This being my first Slammiversary, this being my first pay-per-view, and to go up against Deonna and have this opportunity in a very strange way, inspiring to follow in these footsteps, in this legacy that she's creating here in Impact. It's definitely going to be an honor to be in there at Slammiversary against her. And it's also going to be an honor when I beat her as well.
Ooh. I was going to say, I agree. I feel the same way, but okay.
I'm not shocked. Jim, thank you for your question. Next up is Ashley from TWM News. Hi, Ashley. Ashley, I believe you're muted.
Sorry, I can't believe
go.
I was muted. Well, happy anniversary, happy, Slammiversary, everyone.
Thank you.
Watching.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you again, Tom. Good to see you, Deonna. Trinity, welcome to the
Thank
Impact
you.
family. So, Trinity, you're going to face Deonna, one of the best technical wrestlers in the business. One of,
Absolutely.
I would say, definitely elevated the knockouts division, not just the knockouts division. We're talking about women's wrestling in general.
Agreed.
Do you have any concerns going into Slammiversary facing the Virtuosa?
I wouldn't say concerns, but I would say there is somewhat of a nervousness that I have, never facing anyone like Deonna. And I feel like Deonna is going to be my biggest challenge thus far in my career. We definitely have two completely different wrestling styles, and how I'm able to combat and counter and conform to her technical abilities is, I think, is what's going to make and break me in this match. I have never faced anyone like her, and I've been preparing my butt off to be prepared for her and to watch out for the arm bars.
A lot of arm
Deonna,
bars.
any comments?
No, I agree with what Trinity said. We have two completely different styles, and having to be prepared for that is something that I have taken seriously as well. I said on commentary a couple weeks ago that Trinity's a high flyer and she could do a little bit of everything. So for me, it's more of, do I take out the legs so she can't climb to the top rope, so she can't springboard? Is it my arm bar? Using that technical prowess that I have is really going to aid to my advantage in terms of grounding Trinity and making sure that she can't do some of those high flying crazy things that she does in the ring.
Oh wow! Let me take notes right quick.
Thank you both, and thank you, Tom. Seeing you again, and Trinity, best of luck. The knockouts. The knockouts championship is not only just one of the greatest prestigious prizes in Impact, I say in all of wrestling. So look forward to it. Happy Slammiversary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashley, thank you. I'm biased, but I completely agree. Next up is Michael from Lucha Libre Online. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Tom. Hey, ladies. Hope everyone is doing well. First of all, thank you for your time. It's an honor for me to be here. Both of you have competed in multiple levels. We can agree that you are international superstars. It's always been established, but your respective journeys got something in common. In the case of Deonna, she competed in Puerto Rico back in 2016 as an active wrestler. Trinity, you were recently in Puerto Rico training and discovering what Puerto Rican wrestling looks like. So I wanted to ask, how much does competing in Puerto Rico or training in Puerto Rico or Puerto Rican just wrestling in general, affect or change your game style?
Deonna, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've competed in Puerto Rico, but lucha libre is not something that is foreign to me. I've been fortunate enough to compete in AAA a handful of times this year. Last year, I'm a former Arena de Arenas champion. So I think that luckily I've been able to kind of refine my style. And yes, I am the greatest technical women's wrestler in the world, but when someone wants to do some lucha, I can go toe to toe with that too. I'm a master of all trades, I think. So, being able to do that and knowing Trinity is trained in a little bit of that lucha libre style is something I have to have in the back of my head and be prepared for, like I said, for the last question, and be able to match up with her in that aspect if need be.
Trin?
The lucha style is definitely one of my favorite styles of wrestling. So I always try to learn a little bit from my lucha brothers and sisters whenever I have the opportunity. And I feel like the more well-rounded I can be, the better competitor that I'm becoming and that I will become. So I just think the more of that I can learn in the different styles is the more fierce I'll be, which you have to be going against Deonna because she is very well-rounded.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time and wishing you success on Slammiversary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Next up is Nikki, a familiar face from Women's Wrestling Talk. Nikki, good to see you again.
Hey, Nikki.
Good to see you guys as well. First and foremost, sitting here with the virtuosa and Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity and Tom, it's an honor because we've honestly watched Deonna Purrazzo these 3 years grow in such a crazy way. Trinity, you brought something to Impact Wrestling that is very needed, and it's a very fan-based thing. But we have to get to it because Trinity, you keep saying it that you're going to beat Deonna Purrazzo, the 3-time Knockouts World Champion, and your fans on Twitter are very adamant at this. But I have to very much. I have to play devil's advocate because we know how this works for Deonna Purrazzo. Me being one of the biggest fans, if you ever come to the show, I love Deonna. And I've loved seeing Trinity come to Impact Wrestling and what you brought. But I have to ask, if you don't defeat the virtuosa, then what?
That is a great question. I actually have not even asked myself that. I feel like if I'm going into this match already thinking that I'm defeated or that I may not make it or I may not win or I'm not capable, then this ain't the match for me. I don't even need to be here. So I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but I'm not even going there in my mind. I need to keep my confidence up, my mental strength strong, because I am going to need everything positive and focus going against her. Like, I don't want to allow any what if or negativity to even start to seep in at this point. A few days away, I'm already like the buildup is so strong, and I just want to stay this way until Saturday. So I ain't trying to answer that. I'm not even trying to put that into the universe because, baby, all I'm telling myself is I'm gonna win. I have to win. This match is a career-defining match for me. I feel like the good, bads, ups and downs and indifferent all brought me to this moment with Deonna. So I have to make it happen by any means necessary.
Absolutely. Didn't mean to come in here and throw you off your game. By no means. Love you, Trinity. Love you, Deonna. Love you, Tom. Love all the people. And if you don't watch Impact Wrestling, you are in for a treat at Slammiversary. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do. And good luck. Y'all are going to make history this Saturday. I cannot wait to see it. Deonna, you already know.
Thank you.
You already know.
Thank you very much, Nikki. We appreciate you joining us. We are going around the world, as I mentioned, media members from all over the globe joining us. We're going to start in Ireland with RCB Radio Ireland.
Great talking to you guys. Deonna, great seeing a familiar face again since the last time we spoke. But my question is for Trinity. I suppose, Trinity, for the past decade or so, you've probably been watching on from the outside, watching on the Knockouts division to great success, such legends like Velvet Sky, Madison Rain, Gail, Kim. When you came to Impact Wrestling and the Knockouts division, had you certain sort of expectations before you arrived here in terms of what you thought it might be? And has it lived up to his expectations so far, or has in fact succeeded them in terms of what you thought? And did you honestly look in from the outside for a while at what was going on in Impact in terms of the Knockouts and the history, the such vaunted history of the division?
I knew I was in good hands because Knockouts has always been known as a great women's division. I knew the talent was top tier. I knew that I would come here and have great matches. However, I didn't know what the environment was going to be like. It was kind of a culture shock just leaving my environment from 14 years, not being on the road with my family, and just completely walking into a whole new everything. It was like, I didn't know what to expect. And I didn't have any expectations. I've only heard, great things about Impact through the grapevine, which is one of the reasons I wanted to come and influence me. I have friends there as well, but I didn't know how, I was going to settle in and adjust, but I'm glad I took that leap of faith. I'm glad I'm in Impact. It's been such a incredible experience since I've been there. I feel like I'm growing so much in such a short period of time, and I'm very thankful and appreciative of the opportunities that I'm being given, and I don't take any of it for granted, and I want to maximize it to the fullest.
Yeah, well, no doubt, Trinity, Deonna, you're definitely going to knock it out of the park. I know that's for sure. In terms of your match, is going to steal the show. Thanks, Trinity, for answering my question. Deonna, great seeing a familiar face again, and best of luck, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Just a quick reminder, Scott D'Amore should be joining us in roughly 15 minutes. We're expecting him around 1:30 p.m. Eastern, so we're looking forward to that. Up next in France is our friend Stephanie with the new Worldwide Wrestling website. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to come back because it's been one strange year, and I'm so happy to be back, and mostly for Slammiversary. I look like a ghost, sorry, but there's a lot of sun in France. I'm very happy to see you, Trinity, on Impact Wrestling. But my question will go to Deonna. Remember a long time ago we were talking about what you wanted to do, the legacy you wanted to have on Impact, and everything that you have done over the last 3 years is just crazy. What is the next step for you? Do you still have any goals? You are the second longest reigning champion, for example. Do you want to beat Gail Kim standards or things like that? Tell us about what you want to do, the goals, the next goals. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I get asked this a lot, and I think that for me, I've been able to do a tremendous amount in the last 3 years and really leave my mark and the Knockouts division's mark on women's wrestling. But there's still a lot of work to be done. And, as of now, there's only been 3 Knockouts Championship pay-per-view main events. And I've been lucky to be a part of 2 of those. But I want that to be done on a consistent basis. I don't want, it's just, it happened once with me and Mickey back in 2021. Then it took a whole year to do it again. This year, so far, we've had 2 Knockouts pay-per-view championship main events. And I would love for me and Trinity to make that 3 at Slammiversary. I think that for me, that's my next goal, is to continue to elevate our division to pay-per-view main event status. And not just because we're women, but because we tell stories and we've engaged the fans enough to warrant we're in that position. So that's definitely what my goal is. Continue to elevate this division, have people like Trinity come in and see that this division is what the hype is all about. And it's a place people want to be and participate in and make history with.
It's a lovely family. We all know that. And welcome in the family, Trinity. And good luck for Saturday. And happy Slammiversary, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. From France, we head to the UK with a person I'm going to say is maybe the most heartfelt interviewer I've ever experienced, and he's a fellow Tom, so I'm biased. Tom Campbell from Cultaholic Wrestling. Tom, good to talk to you again.
Tom Hannafin, that was very polite of you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy Slammiversary. Deonna, Trinity, thanks for having us on. I'll now obviously laser focus on Slammiversary, but let's go beyond there because we've got New Japan Multiverse United 2 in Philadelphia. And with New Japan doing more and more stuff with Stardom, I was curious whether you, Deonna, and you, Trinity, had any dream matches that you'd like to see come to life at Multiverse United 2.
Deonna, you want to go first?
Sure. Again, it's been a long time since I've competed in Stardom. The last tour of Japan I did was 2018. And there's been a lot of people who've like come up through the ranks in Stardom. I think to have them compete at Multiverse United and just introduce like the Impact universe to Stardom and some of those women who might not be as known in the States would be incredible. But there was one rematch that I'd love to have against my Iwatani. The last time we competed was back in Ring of Honor for the then Women of Honor Women's Championship, and she defeated me. So I would love to revisit that and kind of get my revenge.
Beautiful. Trinity?
I really enjoy going back and forth with Mariah on Twitter and Club Venus. So I think they're very entertaining, and I think they're very cool, very talented. So I wouldn't mind being in the mix with those ladies somehow or at some point.
Wonderful. Thank you both. All the best for Slammiversary. Tom, that's a smashing haircut. Thank you.
Thank you. It's fresh. I appreciate that. From the UK to India we go. We're now joined by Arunava from Sportskita.
Everyone. It's a great honor to be able to speak to you guys. My question will be for Trinity. You have been a part of Impact for like 2 months now. So if you would like to describe how the locker room is, how the environment is, anything that you would like to share about that.
It's very refreshing, very competitive, and I love that. Each woman in that locker room makes me want to become a better wrestler, become a better talent, and push myself to my limits. And I know I'm going to do that every time I step in the ring with them. And you know, every locker room is different. And being a SmackDown girl for so many years, I definitely wasn't sure of what type of locker room I was going to be walking into. I love my old locker room. I love my sister. So being in a good locker room, a strong locker room, a solid locker room is very important to me. And I definitely have that at Impact. And I feel that I naturally fit right in there, which I wasn't sure if I was or wasn't going to, just being so new to the team and the roster, but it works, and I'm happy there. And I think it's going to be a great environment for me to grow in, even the ones that don't like me.
Can't imagine who that would be.
It's not me.
Best of luck to you.
Jay,
Giselle,
the quintessential diva,
Giselle.
hating on me.
Giselle.
Yes, child. Oof. She's been giving me the business since I arrived.
Arunava, thank you so much for joining us. We continue around the world, now heading to Italy with Luca from World Wrestling Italy. Hi, Luca.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. My question is for Trinity. Trinity, it's a tough challenge this Saturday Slammiversary. If you win the championship, what are you going to do to elevate this championship? And what message do you want to give to the Italian fans who will be watching Slammiversary?
That's a really good question. Well, I definitely want to continue to compete against women in the division that I haven't yet, and also, hopefully, if Mickey returns, maybe there's an opportunity to face her, since I never got to in the WWE, which is one of my dream matches. And just bringing what I bring and my uniqueness and my individuality to the championship, my uniqueness to it. I think the division will continue to elevate because the talent is there. So I just got to keep delivering and hold on to it.
Thank you.
And the elevation it'll happen organically.
Italy will be watching, so thank you both.
Thank you, Luca. Appreciate it. Up next is Joey from the Angle Podcast. Hi, Joey. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you guys doing? Good to see you again, Tom and Deonna. Nice to virtually meet you, Trinity.
Me too.
My question is for Trinity. Getting back to wrestling obviously is one thing, but getting back to the championship chase must have been really rejuvenating for you. Almost a year away. I'm sure you've had time to think about new goals and such. What do you see as your driving factor now, being in the different locker room with Impact, and obviously going after one of the most prestigious women's world titles in history?
This past year, it changed everything. And to kind of have, whichever way you want to look at it, either me walking away from wrestling or it being taken away from me, it really just, it just showed me how, first of all, how fast it could be taken away, either through injury or, politics or business or, whatever. So I came back with a new mindset, refreshed and missing it so much, and just wanting to really get the most out of every moment, every second, every tour, even the hard parts, the traveling, the training, all of that, because I missed it so much while I was away. And that just gave me, it rejuvenated my passion, my love for wrestling. And it definitely showed me and helped me to realize what I want my legacy to be, what I want my people to remember me as, what I want people to think of me, what I want people to know that I brought to the table. And that's that I didn't give up. And I took control of my own destiny and my own story. And I'm not gonna leave until I'm happy and solidified and validated in my work in wrestling.
Awesome. And if I can add quickly, if and when you do win the Women Knockouts World Championship, I'm sure the fans would love to see that title glow as well. So good luck to you both. And
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Joey, thank you for your questions. When, Deonna? When? Not if, when?
When? It doesn't have to be Saturday.
Interesting. I do want to remind people that Deonna is so confident she's defending her championship in an open challenge this Thursday night on Access TV against any member of the Knockouts roster. So just putting the title on the line 2 days before a scheduled defense against Trinity at Slammiversary. So
that's what champions do, Tom.
There's a lot of moxie in that decision. Coming up next is Lee from Perched on the Top Rope. Hi, Lee.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing?
Hey.
So I like numbers, and Deonna, this is going to be your 4th Slammiversary. You're 2-1, but I would like to note that you've also played a part in helping Trinity stay undefeated in 2 matches, as she's 6-0 in Impact. My question is going to go to Trinity on this one. Trinity, we actually talked a little bit at WrestleCon about this with custom championships, and there's been several people in Impact in the past that when they've won a championship, they've created like their own championship from it. Would you do that with the Knockouts Championship if you win?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've done it before, as we know, and back then I feel that I got a lot of backlash for it, which is weird, but I know a lot of fans also liked it and also started to like make their own replicas. But we'll see. If the fans want it, and if Impact wants it, that's something I can definitely consider. And I don't know, has there ever been a custom women's championship in Impact?
Women's, not to my knowledge off the top of my head. I know there was a custom Jeff Hardy title, and Trey Miguel recently defaced the X Division Championship. So I'd hope you do something nicer.
I hope so. I'd hope so.
To my knowledge, there has not been, but there have been a few men who have, aside from Jeff Hardy, who have created championships. I wish you both the best of luck on Saturday, and good luck.
Lee, thank you so much. Joining us now, as promised, is Scott D'Amore. He is in title the president of Impact Wrestling. However, he is currently on a leave of absence. He will be competing this Saturday live in his hometown of Windsor, Ontario at Slammiversary in a tag match that has shifted considerably in the last 24 hours, hell, in the last week. So, Scott, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a reaction off of what happened yesterday morning on Busted Open Radio with Deonna and Bully Ray?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm 31 years plus into this business. So if you told me that I would be shocked to wake up and hear that a couple of people were sitting there talking, crap about me and, expressing their discontent with how I've done things in the past or how I handled their contracts or careers or whatever else, I mean, well, then I would be a pretty thin-skinned individual. So, look, as you said, I'm not the president right now. It's been a lot of fun in some ways to not be. It's been fun to get back in the dojo. And I guess part of the business is whether you're a wrestler or whether you're an executive, whether you're the president, it doesn't matter. If you're somebody who's doing stuff, then there's gonna be people that are gonna be unhappy with it. So, Cody Deonna, sorry I hurt your feelings. I mean, I guess you can be mad at the only person who ever really saw anything in you when they were in a position of authority, and you can lash out against me. It's funny. Some of the people here say that there's a club, All D'Amore's Fault, and it's made up of wrestlers that didn't make it. Usually ones that at some point it came through the dojo or through Border City Wrestling or something else, and their career for one reason or another didn't pan out. So I think Deonna is a hell of a talent. It's one of the reasons why we signed him and brought him here. Was he overlooked in some ways? I don't think so. I just think that wrestling is so much about timing. And look, he's a great athlete. He's a great wrestler. I'll be standing across the ring from him. I'll be standing across the ring from Bully Ray. And we're just days away. And it doesn't matter who's standing with Bully Ray. It's Cody Deonna, no problem. I wish Steve Macklin a very speedy recovery. He's a world champion. I was both excited and nervous to step into a ring with him, just like I'm excited and nervous to step into the ring as it is now. And now I've got to go back to seeing what am I going to do to who's going to be standing beside me. So that's going to be a key part of how things play out Saturday.
Obviously, there's a lot to be determined in regards to the status of PCO this Thursday night on Access TV. For those that don't know, this past Thursday night, Macklin and Bully Ray lit PCO on fire. It was inferno. It was a harrowing circumstance. So I can only imagine what you're dealing with there, Scott. But to turn our attention to the media aspect of this, I do have a question that's been posed by Mike Johnson of PWI. And his question is regarding you appearing not only in front of your hometown, but historically, a lot of wrestling fans know you having led Team Canada. Didn't make a lot of friends in that role, but now you're stepping in as a wrestler with the support of a lot of people in Impact Wrestling and your hometown. How does that feel?
It's a unique situation for me, Tom, because if you look at it and you followed my career, I've never really very often been the guy to wear the white hat. I've usually been the guy in Bully's spot. I've usually been the guy in Deanna's spot. I'm usually the guy running my mouth and, sitting around and just trying to come up and cultivate plans to cause chaos. And I think when I did that, I was really, really good at that. So being on the other side, it's been it's been a little humbling. It was very awkward. I talked with a few people, like when Impact Wrestling did that video package on my career, it was hard to watch Because if you think about it, any video package on my career had been people calling me a loudmouth or a piece of, SHIT or Canadian bacon or big load or whatever else. So to hear people say nice things was actually kind of awkward for me. It's not what I'm used to, and it was a little uncomfortable. But I'm excited. Look, it's Windsor, Ontario. The Sportsplex where we're going to be there for Slammiversary is literally 3 minutes from my house. St. Clair College is where I used to walk to at 5:30 in the morning to go run around the track. I know, Tom, hard to believe that I used to run, and to swim in the pool that's adjacent to the old gym there. So to be there and to do this, I mean, I don't know how this turns out. I know all holy hell is gonna break free, break loose there. It's a tag team match under tag team rules. Tom, I kind of alluded to it briefly when we talked last week. I mean, we'll see how long that lasts. I think whoever gets this referee assignment has their hands full, and just kind of a message to them: you got a job to do, but stay out of the way, because I may not be the president on Saturday, but I will be Sunday morning. So there is going to be some conclusion, some finality here at Slammiversary.
Hey, best of luck also to the special enforcer, Darren McCarty, the NHL legend, 4-time Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings, who is the special enforcer for this match. He's also going to have his hands full. Scott, I know you have a lot on your plate this week. If we can get a question here from the media, I know you have limited time. We're joined now by Tyler from Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Can you hear us? And you're muted.
Sorry, guys, can you hear me there?
Yes, we can. What's
Perfect.
your question for Scott?
I actually had a question for Deonna and Trinity, if that's okay.
Okay.
My question is it's pretty safe to say that this Knockouts division is one of the most well-respected divisions in all of wrestling. Trinity, was this something that maybe swayed you to want to sign with Impact Wrestling? And Deonna, being one of the main faces of the Knockouts division, 2 main events this year, 3-time champion, are you starting to feel a little bit disrespected that so many people are already overlooking you and talking about Trinity becoming the next Knockouts champion?
Oh, well, I'll go first. See, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to ruffle some feathers.
A little bit.
Definitely the division, the women's division, the Knockouts is one of the major reasons that swayed me and made me want to come to Impact Wrestling. I knew it'd be the place where I can grow and be challenged and really be put to the test, which is what I need and want at this point in my career. And these ladies, they're tough, they're rough, they're technical, they're talented. You have every type of style on our roster. So it's not going to be easy, and anything I get, I know that it's going to be earned, because they're not just going to lay down for anybody.
Deonna?
Yeah, I feel like if people doubting you is disrespect, I've been disrespected for the majority of the 11 years I've been wrestling then. But I also think that I thrive best when people doubt me. And I think being told, seeing on social media, hearing people talk about how they just anticipate Trinity winning, really lights a fire under me and tells me that I need to bring 150% of me to Slammiversary to prove them all wrong. That's what I plan to do.
But I'm seeing the opposite. They're saying what I'm seeing is that you're going to drag me and rip my arm off.
Oh,
so
I'd love to see that, because I'm not going to get that.
I mean, best luck to you both, ladies. Waiting in the wings is Toronto's own Jody Threat, so watch out to both of you, whoever wins. Tom, keep up the great work as always, and Scotty, keep doing what you're doing, man. Impact Wrestling is firing at all cylinders, and we cannot wait for the show this weekend.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Scott, I know you have limited time, so we do have one question here from the media before I know you got to make your way out of here. Marco is joining us from Wrestling Infos Germany, and he has a question for you, Scott. Marco?
So good evening, guys. Good to see you. Hope everybody is having a great day. I feel like about the match of the two ladies is everything said. Like Deonna has been the standard of the division, and no matter the outcome, the match will elevate the division. So, as you've said, Tom, my question is for Scott. Since in the last couple of months or recently this year, the UK scene has gotten more attention. So, what do you think of a possible Slammiversary in the future taking place overseas?
Well, I think that certainly. Thanks for the question. I think the UK is on fire. I think that I was over. I spent the part of the mid '90s in Europe. Actually, my first overseas tour was in Hamburg. I was there for a catch there in René Lazartet in 1995. In '96, I spent time in England, Ireland, Wales. And the scene was very depressed at that time, with the exception of the WWE tours that would come through here and there. There just wasn't a lot. We've seen such a growth in the market over there, and I think that you saw a bit of a dip at some of the stuff when NXT UK opened, because I think they took a lot of the talent and they really depleted the scene. But I think what you saw, which happens so much in wrestling, is others had an opportunity to step up and show out, and they've done that. So whether it's Slammiversary or whatever the events are, I think UK fans are great at showing their support. I think European fans there, I've competed in Switzerland, Germany. It's a great scene over there, and I think wrestling fans have really become quite educated to what we do. And one of the things I always noted is their passion. They're always so loud and so vibrant. It's like watching a soccer game with the level of energy that you get over there with them. And I think you'll hear some exciting stuff coming real soon from Impact Wrestling when it comes to the Euro market. And thank you for your support. And Guten Tag.
So thank you, obviously, for your answer, but also what you've done for pro wrestling and Impact Wrestling in general. Also to you ladies, good luck at Slammiversary. Happy Slammiversary, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Marco,
Bye.
thank you for joining us. Scott, like I said, I know you have limited time. Before you go, any comments specifically on the match that this press pass is largely about, Trinity and Purrazzo for the Knockouts World Championship?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've tried to focus a lot of my efforts in the last little bit on my own match, and there's a lot of moving parts to it. You said with the changes and with having a local legend and a 4-time Stanley Cup winner and Darren McCarty out there as the enforcer ref. Excited for that. But one of the things, Tom, when if Bully and Dina succeed in what they want to do and end me like pretty much like they have PCO at this point, then at my eulogy, I think one of the things that I hope people remember me for is the little part that I got to play in building the Knockouts division, and just being there to support these amazing women from day one, whether it was Kong and Gail, whether it was the beautiful people or ODB, or whether it's Trinity and Deonna, and somebody mentioned earlier, Jody Threat coming up the ranks, and all these people. I think one of the legacies of Impact Wrestling is the Knockouts division, and how it's given women an opportunity to stand front and center and be noticed for the athletes that they are, the amazing athletes and performers that they are. And I'm proud to have played a small part in that. And provided I come out the other side after my match, I'll be sitting back and enjoying the last few hours of my time, not as president of Impact Wrestling, watching what I think is a dream match, and I think is a match that pits two people that are so different, and their styles are so different, but both are so amazing. And I can't wait. And I know that regardless of whether Trinity steps up and wins that Knockouts championship and adds her to that history, or whether Deonna continues to do what Deonna's done since she came here with a chip on her shoulder from someplace else and something to prove, and is still the virtuosa and walks out there at the end of the night as the Knockouts World Champion. One thing I'm very confident in is they're going to have a banger, and we will have a Knockouts World Champion that everybody, regardless of gender, can be proud of.
Wow. That just gave me chills, butterflies. Oh my God.
Scott,
Oh,
we
man,
really
I'm
appreciate
excited.
your time. Sincerely, best of luck with all your training and everything that's on your plate in the lead up to Slammiversary. We really appreciate your time, Scott.
Thanks, Tom. Good luck, ladies. I'll see you Saturday.
See you Saturday. Thanks so much.
Turning back to the media, that was fun. That was nice. It was great to have Scott on just for a moment. He gets back to what he's doing at the Can-Am Dojo. Joining us next, a member of the media, Sam from Soundsphere. Sam, how are you?
I'm all right, Tom. Thank you. I'll keep it sweet. This one is for both Trinity and Deonna. The word legacy has cropped up a couple of times tonight while you've been talking. I'd like to just ask you both straight up, what does legacy mean to each of you? And I'd love to hear from the champion first.
Yeah, I've used that word a ton over the last year and a half of that. When I came to Impact, I didn't have a legacy. You know, I was talked about as oh, she's good, but I was, extra talent extraordinaire, and my NXT career didn't really pan out too much. And coming here, I was given the opportunity to create a legacy. I was given an opportunity to just go out there and decide who I wanted to be for the world. And I've become a 3-time Knockouts World Champion. I've become the homecoming queen of Impact. I've been able to work with AEW and AAA and Ring of Honor and become a tag team champion and really cement myself for the world, create that legacy that I longed for so long. And to do that work in our Knockouts division, which we've all said is one of the cornerstones of Impact Wrestling, has been really rewarding for me, but a sense of I'm proud to have done it here, and I'm proud of our entire division and what we're still transforming it to be and what being a knockout means as a whole. So I think that regardless of what happens on Saturday, whether I retain my championship or Trinity wins the Knockouts World Championship, this division and the legacy I've created will last way longer than I'm an active wrestler, and that's all I can ask for.
Thank you very much. And what about you, Trinity? I'd love to hear yours.
When I think about legacy, I think about my husband and what he's accomplishing and what he's doing and the way he has changed all of them together have changed people's mind about tag team wrestling and what you could do with tag team wrestling. And, at one point, no one ever thought a tag team, match would main event WrestleMania. But to me, that's what creating a legacy is, when you completely are able to change the narrative and the course of history by how talented you are, by your work, by your contribution. And as a woman in this business, I still think with it being just still very male ran and dominated, I think as women, we're still, fighting against just proving ourselves and our worth and our value. So I hope that what I continue to contribute and fight for will change history and make it better and make it more meaningful for the women to come in after me and have it better, get more time, get that respect, it not have to be thought about twice. Can these women main event? Should they main event? And for things like that to become more of the norm. And I know the only way you're gonna get there is by proving it and putting in the hard work to prove that it can be done. So that's what I want my legacy to showcase, and that's what I'm working towards. And I can't do it by myself. It's gonna take the division. It's gonna take women, with all of us working together collectively and continuing to put on bangers and amazing matches and do great work, which I know I can do here at Impact, and we are doing.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sam. We've got about 10 minutes left here. We are going to try and sign off around 2 p.m. Eastern time. So again, please raise your hands digitally if you'd like to get a question in. I'm trying to get as many people's questions in as possible. Up next is Gerard from bodyslam.net. I think is a Steve Macklin fan based on his t-shirt. Gerard, how are you? You are muted.
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Great.
First of all, let me say congratulations to both Trinity and Deonna. I know you mentioned at the top of the hour that they're going to be officially main eventing the Slammiversary pay-per-view. And
I didn't
nobody
hear.
did.
What?
I didn't say that.
You trying to?
I said headlining, but I as one of the marquee matches. I apologize if I was misinterpreted.
All right.
Sorry.
Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm just manifesting. That's all, you know.
Go for it. Yeah.
Manifest it. Put it in the
just kinda-
universe.
Yeah, you know, if you put it in the universe, maybe it'll happen. For both of you guys, I know you guys are both great and you have kind of different move styles and stuff like that. What's the kind of the mindset going into this? Because I'm sure you guys haven't really fully shown let the other one see what you can do in the ring.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that from day one, Trinity told us all she's watched the Knockouts division. She knows the history here, and I think that includes me and knowing what I bring to the table and what my body of work has been over the last 3 years. So I actually disagree. I think I've put it all out there. I think she has all the study material she would need if she was going to dethrone me, because my body of work at Impact Wrestling and who the Virtuosa is out there for the world now. I actually think I have the disadvantage because this new Trinity that we've seen come back and debut at Impact Wrestling is someone that, yeah, I watched her before, but she's totally new. She's reinvented herself. She has a new energy and new moves, and she's showing the world who she is now in Impact Wrestling. And that has only been, 6 matches. So I think I'm at the disadvantage of where I need to go back and try to do some studying and compare and contrast and really keep my eyes and ears open out there on Saturday, because I don't know her entire body of work and who she's going to bring to the table on Saturday.
True. Facts.
There you have it. Gerard,
Can't
thank
deny
you.
that.
All right, thanks. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Max.
Thank you.
True. Up next is Billy from Scottish Wrestling Network. Billy.
Hi guys, I'm so glad to get to speak to you guys about Slammiversary. I've been a TNA fan, well, Impact fan, with this way back, Wrestling Channel 2003. Talking about TNA and Impact, sorry, my apologies, Impact in general, creativity seems to be a big buzzword for Impact Wrestling, and you guys get to be as creative as you possibly can be on these shows. Another person who's very creative, and of course, Scottish Wrestling Network, say his name and hopefully he appears, Joe Henry is doing a lot of creativity, and of course he'll be on Countdown to Slammiversary with Kenny King with Digital Media Championship on the line. What are your thoughts on his videos, his creativity, and is there any fears that you have if you are across the ring or possibly victim to one of these videos?
Trinity, you want to go first on that one?
I mean, I think we should do a song together, because I do a little singing here and there too myself, but like a good song, not a mean song. Because he be dissing people on those songs so bad.
He got
but
Kennedy.
I think he is
He got
very
Kenny.
creative and very catchy. Yeah. And the Fandango one, I was like, oh. And
Yeah,
he
can
brought
you
Total
confirm or
Divas up in it.
deny the Divas reject information? Can you confirm or deny that?
Lips are sealed.
He pleads the fifth.
Plead the fifth. I can't go spilling no Total Diva tea now.
Oh, that's awesome. Deonna, what do you think about Joe Hendry?
Yeah, I think it's so creative and it's so different than what anyone else is doing right now in Impact Wrestling, but in like larger wrestling world. And I think that really makes him stand out. It makes Impact stand out. The videos get crazy views. So it just puts more eyes on our product and helps us grow in a digital space. And that's kind of like where the world is headed. So it puts us ahead of that curve. And, I think for me working with him one day, there's nothing he could put in a song that I haven't said about myself that wouldn't be willing to admit about myself. I'm pretty much an open book, and I have no like whims about hiding anything that I've done or said or been a part of. So, he can't embarrass me more than I've probably already embarrassed myself.
He better not embarrass me, because I'm gonna be ready to fight.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to see your main event at Slammiversary, and I'm sure you're going to knock out the park.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, Billy. Again, we have just a few more minutes here, wrapping up around 2 p.m. Eastern. Going down the Irish Sea here to Jerry from the Irish Wrestling Podcast. Jerry.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for your time, ladies. You have obviously never faced each other previously, but you did tag team together against all odds recently. Did you manage to learn anything about each other's maybe weaknesses going into this match, or did you pick up anything that you might use against each other, maybe for the match itself?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I did pick up how how quickly Deonna adjusts to the circumstance, or how easy she's able to adjust and catch you with that submission. Tagging alongside her, being in there with her, she can get to it from anything at any time, out of anywhere, and that's definitely something that I'm not gonna lie, I never facing her before. I'd be a fool not to worry about that, and that's just the one thing. Never have facing her, it just makes me a little bit uneasy. It's just that fear of the unknown, and not knowing, what we're gonna do, what she's gonna do when I get in there. You can watch tape, you can watch film, you can watch matches all day, but nothing you do can compare you to that hand to hand, body to body, that energy and that one-on-one contact in that moment live when we're in there. So that's what keeps me up at night. That's what makes it hard to the sleep. And but I'm just so anxious, and I'm so ready for that moment. And I'm ready for the outcome, which is me winning.
Deonna?
Okay. I think for me, the biggest, just standing in the ring when Trinity makes her entrance, or a couple weeks ago, I was on commentary making her entrance, the energy that you bring and the fans bring for you is like nothing I've ever felt before at Impact Wrestling. And I think so much of what we do in the ring, when we're tired, when we're beaten up, when we can't fathom getting up one more time, when those fans are behind you, you feel invincible, and you can get up one more time. You can hit one more strike. You can go for one more pin. You just dig down deep because they're digging down deep with you and for you. And I think that that's, again, something the energy that Trinity brings and her fan base brings is something I've never been in the ring with and experienced with someone of Trinity's caliber. So I think that just the energy she's going to bring, and I know she's not going to quit. I know she's not going to give up. It's going to be a brawl to the end to see who can be the Knockouts World Champion. And that's what is my biggest nervousness right now. I'm nervous about that energy and how that's going to translate into her offense.
Excellent. Best luck on the match. I hope you smash it, and we're all looking forward to it over here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. We're staying in the wrestling hotbed of Ireland, joined now by Maurice from Cheap Heat Productions. Maurice?
Hi, good afternoon. I suppose my question really would be, we were talking about the word legacy earlier, and obviously, as it's been mooted earlier, that your match on Saturday is going to be one of the highlight matches of the pay-per-view. I suppose my question really is, what would be the legacy that you would want to leave on this title if you were to win it, Trinity? And for Deonna, if you are to beat Trinity, where do you want to go next? And how else are you going to leave your stamp on this really long and prestigious title reign?
Deonna, you want to go first?
Sure. I think it's always tough while you're champion to look ahead to what's next, because I have a target on my back 24/7, and right now I'm fully focused on my match at Slammiversary. I'm not overlooking Trinity at all, because she, I think, truly up until this point is my toughest competitor. But I think on the other end, when I retain my Knockouts World Championship at Slammiversary, it's who's next. That is what my mindset has to be. I've defeated one person, and now I know someone else is gunning for me. And I think that the past couple of months, our Knockouts division has really seen an influx of people stepping up. And we have, like someone mentioned, Jody Threat. We have, Killer Kelly and Masha. Are they a tag team? We don't know what that dynamic is yet. Giselle Shaw is always on my heels. I'm patiently waiting for Tasha Steelz to return because that's someone I'd love to get in the ring with. So I think that with our knockouts division, there's this constant circulation of people in the title picture and women coming in and getting opportunities. So for me, post Slammiversary as the Knockouts World Champion, it's going to be who's next and who's stepping up. And also, like, who can dethrone me then? I've been champion for a long time. The majority of my 3+ years here at Impact Wrestling, I've been a champion. So for me, it's like, who's going to take my spot? Who's going to take me down for good? No one has at this point.
Bryn?
I think for me, knowing the way my story could have ended and kind of resetting pretty much restarting all over in a company where I have no accolades, I have no accomplishments yet, to gain the championship and to be able to kind of stand on everything that I've experienced this last year, and to showcase how prestigious this championship really is, and to put it at the forefront, like it's always been this entire time, which is why I wanted to come into this division and work with these women and work through it. I think it says plenty about the brand, the company, and the championship. Me having the career that I've had and being in WWE for so long, I think there is a aura that I bring just from that experience and the years, and also my family that I'm also associated with. I think not only will it elevate me to hold the Knockouts Championship, but I think I hope if I do it justice, it'll continue to push women's wrestling forward and give the Knockouts even more the respect that they deserve, as well as the division and championship. And I hope it just puts an even bigger highlight on the Knockouts, and we get more people giving it the respect and wanting to come in and compete for it. That's what I hope to create, and that's what I would like my legacy to be.
Perfect. Thanks both of you for answering that.
Maurice, appreciate your time. This will be our final question. I want to thank everybody, media members and fans that have tuned in for this. Unfortunately, we just can't get to everybody during these. Unfortunately, these press passes have become more and more popular. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Our final question from the media comes from Himanshu with 411 Mania.
Hey guys, this is Himanshu from 411 Mania. I hope you're all having a great day. My question is to both the women. You have revolutions, you have new promotions pop up, but the Impact Knockouts division, after all these years, is still considered to be one of the best women's division in North America. So what is the secret sauce? What is it that makes the Knockouts division so good compared to all the other women's divisions out there? Do you attribute it to certain people in charge, or is it just a larger sort of mentality that the company has always had when it comes to the women?
Deonna, you want to go first? You're the reigning champion.
Sure. I think it's a combination of things. I think that, Scott D'Amore touched on it before, of him really advocating for women's wrestling, whether it was with Gail Kim and Awesome Kong and the beautiful people, or if it's now with me and Mickie James is back and bringing Trinity in and really, really honing in on what makes women special. And, just from my experience, Scott D'Amore is the reason I came to Impact Wrestling. He reached out to me immediately and was like, I know you're in this weird space and you aren't sure if wrestling even is for you anymore. And I really just think if you give us a shot, you'll find that this is the perfect place for you to grow in and to become whoever you want to be in. There's no mistakes at Impact Wrestling. There's no one, like I said, there's no mistakes in Impact Wrestling. There's no one telling you you're wrong or you can't do this or this doesn't work. It's go out there and be whoever you want to be. And if it works, then we're going with it. And if it doesn't work, then you try something else next week. It's really an easy place to grow and evolve in. And I think that starts with who's in charge. That starts with Scott D'Amore as the head of our company. It works with Gail Kim, who produces all of our matches and is helping us grow as people and as wrestlers. It's also a part of our locker room, and how, to echo what Trinity said earlier, every woman in our knockouts division is fighting for each other, is welcoming the door for someone who's going to elevate me. I was so thrilled to have Trinity here because I knew being in the ring with her and working with her not only was elevating our division, but giving me such valuable professional and personal experience. That's what we all want in our division, is to make this the most coveted division, the most coveted Knockouts World Championship that there could be. And having a group of people who really find value in each other and the work and the diversity and the differences we bring to the table has just made us blossom back in the day and now too.
Trinity?
I agree 1000%. And I honestly couldn't say it better. Like, all of those things that you just said is exactly what I felt from day one coming in. Just the supportive environment in every department, in every aspect, in every level. All those things are important. My mental health is extremely important, and me being in a good environment where I feel heard, respected, valued, seen, is top priority in my career over anything. So I definitely feel that I've found that, and I have that here in Impact, and it's crazy, but I never thought I'd have a second home in wrestling, but I've found that in Impact. So
beautiful.
It's great.
Himanshu,
Well,
thank you
you
so
very
much.
much for letting me be a part of this media call at the very end, and wish you both the very best of luck at Slammiversary.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Himanshu. Again, I want to say a very special thank you to everybody, media and fans, that have tuned in for this. Of course, thank you to Scott D'Amore, and of course, our two esteemed guests, Trinity and the Knockouts World Champion, Deonna Purrazzo. Those two are scheduled to battle for the Knockouts World title this Saturday at Slammiversary. We'll see how Deonna's open challenge for her title goes this Thursday night on Access TV. Thank you all so much for tuning in. For ticket information, head to impactwrestling.com. And of course, you can see Slammiversary this Saturday live in Windsor, Ontario on pay-per-view, Fight TV, and DAZN internationally. I'm Tom Hannafin. This has been the Impact Press Pass.